Yo, what is going on guys, xHOUNDISHx here, and today I thought I'd jump in and show you how I'm getting on with my 3 characters inside of Rise of Iron. So of course hard mode is coming out next week. I've been grinding to try and hit some fairly decent light levels right here, but I'm going to show you the gear and what level I've got my characters up to. And we'll start out with my Titan. My Titan is my main character on Destiny, and I'm looking pretty cool, if I do say so myself, although I am a little bit like a bumblebee with holographic wings, but yeah, I'm really liking the way it looks with that Trials armor in particular. I need the chest piece and the helmet to get this guy finished up in Trials armor, but I've got some raid gear as well, although my luck hasn't been quite as good there. But we'll jump in and just take a quick look at what weapons I'm rocking on the most parts. We've got the Outbreak Prime, of course. This is a beast at 390. I have brought up my Imago loop because, I mean, I got the Outlaw, Firefly, Hammerforged, and Sure Shot, so it's a pretty darn good roll for PvE stuff, and I've brought that up to 385. Of course, my IS Luna, which is another very nice roll, Outlaw, Rifle Barrel, Look in the Chamber, and Quick Draw right there. So I'll put that up to 386. These are weapons that just absolutely I always need with me because I love them very much. But we got the Blind Petition right here, which I finally got the Adept version of. I say finally, Trials has had like 2 weekends, but I've played quite a bit. But I got this beast at the weekend. It is a monster of a pulse rifle, so it's nice to get the Adept version of that at 387 as well. I didn't even realise it's quite that high. And 388, Burning Eye, the Scout Rifle from Trials. This is also pretty nice. I mean, it's not like a fantastic weapon, but I do want to keep hold of all of the Adept weapons. 388 as well is a pretty nice level. I just need to stay away from the temptation to infuse it, because that would be terrible. Thorn at 385. I thought I'd level this thing up, you know, maybe ruin some people's days in the Crucible. I haven't actually used it all that much, to be honest, but it's nice to have it as an option right there. Chaos Dogma at 386, which I absolutely really enjoy using for, you know, any kind of boss DPS with small arms especially. It's a beast. And the Raid Auto Rifle, Genesis Chain as well at 385. I've actually been using this pretty much on all of my raids over the past week. I really enjoy this primary in the raid in general. And of course you can throw your Black Spindle, your Galahorn, your other exotics, your swords and everything on as well. So that's pretty awesome. And this Hopscotch Pilgrim, which is a fairly nice roll right here. Red Dot ORS, we got the ranged and the iron sights as well. And we got Headseeker, lightweight, handlaid stock, which is pretty decent, single point sling, and spray and play. So I actually really like that roll. You could have, you know, counterbalance and different stability options. Of course, I lose a little bit of range, but with this archetype, honestly, having max stability from something like handlaid stock, you don't really need anything else. I don't find the range to be too big of a deal. Of course, I need to level that thing up and actually give it a bash. But moving on, I've upped my Party Crasher to 387. I'm pretty sure this is my highest special weapon now. I'm not quite sure why I did that, but nonetheless, it's a really good Party Crasher, so I've got that beast at the ready. My Longbow Synthesis up to 385, gotta be done. I got a Matador, which is fairly decent right here. It has aggressive ballistics, spray and play, rifle barrel, and final round, so not too shabby at all. I pretty much prefer my Party Crasher because more or less of the rolls right there, but both very good shotguns. I do actually enjoy the Ether Nova fusion rifle as well from the raid. It's pretty fun to use. I have the Iron Banner Sniper right here at 386. I didn't get Hidden Hand, but I got the Firefly roll. Generally pretty cool, pretty fun to use. I do have But Not Forgotten as well, which is stashed away somewhere. Black Spindle, of course, needed to be leveled up for the raid because it's absolutely beastly. We've got the Stellar Vestige, which I've been enjoying a little bit in the Crucible at 385. Loads of 385 weapons. Pretty much everything I've got now is above 385. The Winged Word, which I got at the weekend, I'm happy about. The Trials Sniper, of course, which is pretty damn sexy. You take a look at it right there. And then I have the Devil Storm, which I've leveled up. I've got the Firefly roll right there. I think actually they all roll with the same stuff, but this is the Arc version, so that's cool. And this is a weapon that I've got after Rise of Iron, and I was actually after one of these, like most other people, for the entirety of the Taken King. So we've got Sure Gaze, Army of One, Handlaid Stock, and Hidden Hand. So I've kind of ended up using this one a lot more in PvP than my actual longbow as well, mostly because of the ammo reserve since they changed all the aim assist and everything like that. But some really great specials right there, pretty much what I find myself using most of the time. Moving on, we have the Sound and Fury rocket launcher. This is my highest heavy weapon right there, I believe. I actually use this a ton in the raid. I tend to use it over Galahorn or any other exotics for the most part. We have been playing around with the swords in the raid as well, because it turns out Dark Drinker is a bit of a monster, so I leveled that up to 384. It does some really nice boss damage in the raid. I got the Nemesis Star, which is pretty awesome. This one's at 385. I actually haven't used this a ton. I did put this meteorite ornaments on, but yeah, I need to get out there and try Nemesis Star out a little bit. Also, Young Wolf's Howl, which I've pretty much just leveled up for cool factor. One, because it looks cool, but the heavy attack as well is just ridiculous and pretty awesome to behold. I've got my Baron's Ambition leveled right up. This is a nice roll. Counterbalance Feeding Frenzy, so that had to be done. The Iron Banner machine gun, which I showed off in one of my other videos. My Beastly Zombie Apocalypse right there, which has another really nice roll. Of course, Galahorn had to be done, so that is one thing I'm using a ton. The Titanium Orchid, which has actually been quite a fun rocket in PvP. It doesn't quite have the best blast radius and velocity, but inside of year 3 for legendaries, it's been pretty damn good so far. So that's about it for the weapons. I do have little odds and ends on my other characters, but they aren't like fantastic rolls. These are kind of everything that I'm functioning with throughout PvP and PvE content on the whole. In terms of ghosts, I've got the Iron Song shell from the book, which I just visually is like really nice. I really love this ghost, so I tend to be using that above anything else. But I did get the new Iron Wolf shell, which of course is also very shiny and smart right there. And then I've got the Infection shell from the raid and the Exile shell, the new Trials of Osiris shell, which is pretty damn golden right there. Really shiny. Shame these didn't drop at higher levels. Of course, a lot of people are finding once you're at that kind of 385 and above area, you tend to get a lot of 384. So of course the advice is to run, you know, somewhere between 384 and 385, and you tend to get much better drops. That's likely to change, of course, when the hard mode raid and the light level bumps up. But in terms of armor, what I'm pretty much using is Helm of the Pariah from before Rise of Iron dropped. I haven't really used these two, although I have leveled them up a little bit right there. We have the Days of Iron crown out of the book. I kept the one out of the book because you can put the ornaments as well. I'm pretty sure, or is this the ornaments one? Yes, it is. Yeah, you can put the ornaments on these, so I'm just kind of prefer those over the actual Iron Banner ones. I finally got a raid helmet the other day, which is nice, and I actually need to level this up ready for hard mode, because these bonuses, you know, orb pickup, you take less damage from fallen for a short time. Same with the gauntlets, which were the first thing I actually got from the raid, and I haven't had any other gauntlets on other characters, I don't believe. But you get more ammo from Fallen, so these are pretty awesome. And then of course the chest, which I also got the other day. I've only had 3 armor pieces on my Titan, and the class item as well. But either way, I'm going to be definitely leveling these things up and trying to use them in hard mode. You know, take half damage when carrying the Siva charge. You may as well have it on there, especially when you're going in blind, or fresh, should I say, to hard mode. But we've got the Scarab's Vigil gauntlets, which of course look redonkulous with the ornaments on. Super cool. You know, basically Scout Rifle loadout. It's got increased melee attack, intellect, strength, so not too bad. Definitely be alright when I'm running Scout Rifles right there. Need to go get Worm Spore. That's what I actually need. I can't I have no Worm Spore left, and I can't bring myself to go clambering about on the Dreadnought just yet. Thagamizers, which I bought from Xur. Yeah, like, I haven't bought anything from Xur in quite some time, so that was pretty cool to have a reason to go there. Leveled up my Ruin Wings, of course, because they're both useful and sexy. We have the Days of Iron gauntlets, which, just to throw them on, I love these things with the fire. Like, best looking armor ever. Absolutely. And then a couple of pairs of dead orbit ones that I've just kept, you know, pulse rifle, reload, melee attack speed right there, increased melee attack, and hand cannon, which I need to level these things up because they got some nice stats. Overall, my kind of stats on the character, I'm still working on sorting out a little bit, but they're in an okay place on the whole. Plenty of discipline, because in PvP, Armamentarium all the way, 386 on that beast. And then we have the Days of Iron Cuirass, the Titan chest piece, which is actually a higher level. Ooh, I totally forgot that. Crest I haven't really leveled up. I got my other exotics right here that I've leveled up just a little bit, and a spare chest piece if I want to use that. Of course, the raid gear right there. And then as far as boots, I'm using the Trials ones right here, which are alright. They got machine gun ammo, intellect, discipline, solar double, increased agility after solar double kill when I'm running Sunbreaker, so that's not too shabby. And then we got the Days of Iron Greaves, which again, I just absolutely love the look of right there. And some other boots just for literally perks and stats that I've leveled up. Got my Mark of the Oblivion, the new Trials mark as well, which adds to my shininess when I throw all that stuff on. This Cosmoclass mark, which I haven't really leveled up. And just a few that I've leveled up or kept just to have slightly different stats in case I need them. All of this stuff is kind of work in progress, apart from All of this stuff is kind of work in progress. I'm just going to get the light level up, get all the pieces I want, and then sort this guy out. We got the Siva core from the raid. I do have all of the Iron Lord artifacts as well from Rise of Iron. The others are stashed on different characters. So I've made generally pretty damn good progress on my main, so I can hit 387 when I've got everything maxed out, which is pretty cool. So moving on to my hunter right here is looking kind of bizarre with this particular shader on. I've got a couple of weapons just stashed over here. Ace of Spades, the Midar, my Grasp of Malak, my LDR, and just other general stuff that I'm using or moving around. In terms of armor, new stuff, I have the Days of Iron crown right there, which needs leveling up. What is this? Graviton forfeit at 385. This actually dropped out of the raid the other day, which is pretty cool. The Dream Eater mask, which I know a few people were going after because it looks kind of unique right there. But I did get the Trials gauntlets right here, Lion's Vigil grips, sidearm reload speed. So that's why they haven't really been leveled up just yet. I'm keeping them more or less for the light level at the moment. I did actually buy a pair of Shinobu's Vows from Xur, and then these dropped out of the raid, I think it was, or the Nightfall perhaps. So that was pretty cool at 385, which is always useful. The new Mongrel Ogre's Grasps as well right there are pretty damn cool looking. They've got auto rifle loader, intellect, discipline, increased melee attack speed. So when I'm in the mood for that kind of thing, it's a pretty nice option to have. We've got the Days of Iron grips, which you can put the ornament on, which I need to totally sort out and see how they look. That'll be pretty cool. In terms of chest pieces, we've got the Iron Banner one and the one out of the record book right there, and then mostly old stuff that I'm just holding on to for bonuses. I haven't actually had that much stuff dropped right here, but some decent light levels. And then for boots, I'm pretty much using old stuff again. So Treads of the Pariah right there. We've got some decent bonuses on. We've got Bones of Ao, which I actually need to level up a little bit. The Days of Iron boots as well, which I want ornaments for. I did get the Frost EE5s, or however you call them. Unfortunately, I had to infuse them into these right here because they were such a higher level than my boots were like 350 and they were like nearly 380 or something ridiculous. So I was like, man, I'm just going to put them into these for now. These will be more useful on the whole. I did get the Lion's Visual Cloak right there, which is absolutely awesome. I do have some spare flawless ornaments as well, and I think I'm going to put them into it, although I do think it looks just as cool without them, to be quite honest right there. It's cool to get that nonetheless. Then we got some other stuff, Cloak of the Reef Runners, the Shadow Jacks, and the Bloodstained Hood, which is like a makeshift scarf type thing. I believe that's what it was called back in the day. So that's pretty cool. Some stuff I'll mess around with, just kind of getting around to leveling all of these guys up properly. In terms of new ornaments, the other day I got the Siva Shard on my hunter, so that's pretty cool. So finally onto my Warlock, and I've got a few weapons kind of stashed in around here. Some of them pretty nice. The Worlds to Come fusion rifle right here is pretty decent. Mostly I've been stashing stuff on characters, literally using them as a vault. But in terms of new stuff right here, I'm still rocking the Pariah hood. I have the Days of Iron crown. That's the only new helmet I've actually picked up for the Warlock. We've got the Cobra's Vigil gloves, which are pretty cool. I've had these a couple of times from Trials. Of course, the Ophidian aspect, which I actually need to get those leveled up and probably re-roll, or possibly re-roll, we'll see. So plenty of work to be getting on with right here. The Days of Iron gloves as well, which I want some ornaments for. I did get the red miasma gloves from the raid, so they'll be useful for running hard mode early on. Got the Days of Iron raiment, which is pretty awesome. I absolutely love this. Comes from the record book. I want to get some ornaments on this beast as well. And then trusty old Path of Zol are still being used quite here because they got some decent stats. Days of Iron steps and the red miasma boots right there. So a couple of armor pieces from the raid. On the whole, I have to say, I've run the raid on all of my characters every week so far, and I only have like 2 or 3 armor pieces per character, if that. So I haven't been super lucky, but nonetheless, I've got plenty of other pretty awesome stuff. Still got my Light Beyond the Dead Orbit right there. Cobra's Vigil Bond, which is pretty awesome. We quickly preview the ornament on this as well. It looks pretty cool. I do want to hold on to a couple more ornaments till next week, just in case I get cool armor on my Titan. Then we have the Red Miasma Bond, of course, from the raid. We got any new artifacts right here? We have the Siva Capsule, which is from the raid. That's a pretty cool artifact right there as well. So there you go, guys. Taking me a few minutes to get through all of these bits and bobs, but my characters are looking pretty decent in terms of light level. I'm still arranging weapons and armor pieces, getting them leveled up, trying to sort my stats out and things like that. There's quite a few things that are quite sort of placeholdery. I'm just sort of living with at the moment until I find better things. But I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at the stuff that I've got. Of course, right here as well, finally, is the ship that comes out of the record book. I think it's rank 20 or something, right? So that's pretty cool. either way. So let me know down below, what's the coolest stuff that you've got from Rise of Iron so far? Have you managed to reach a pretty high level on your character or characters? Because of course many people have multiple characters inside of Destiny. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video either way though. If you have, a like below is always appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe for a lot more Rise of Iron content. But for now, whatever you do, have an awesome day.